Hey, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to draw a simplified version of Dewey Duck's head, which was the foundation for the finished drawing that you're seeing right now. After finishing my simplified version, I'll move on to the details, using my simple shapes as a guide as to where I should put the details and at about how big they should be drawn. To work with me on this drawing, you'll need four things. First, a pencil. Second, an eraser. Third, a border template which can be downloaded from a link in the description of the video. It's a perfect square, so if you wanted to, you could measure and draw a perfect square of your own, of any size, on a piece of copy paper or drawing paper, and that would work. Fourth would be an optional item, this reference sheet, which can be downloaded from the link in the description of the video. However, if you just prefer to follow along and draw with me, then you don't really need it. So off we go. Let's draw a simplified version of Dewey Duck's head. The first thing I'm going to do when drawing this simplified version of Dewey Duck's head is to determine the size of the circle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down from my top border. I'm going to make a judgment for negative space, and I'm going to draw a horizontal line here, and I want the top of his head to touch that line. Moving over here to the right, I'm going to look at my border. I'm going to come in and make another judgment for negative space, and I'm going to draw a vertical line about here. I want it to be about this close to my right border. Once again, I'm looking at my negative space. Now, over here on the left, it's a little more challenging, and I'm going to put a mark about this far away from my left border. Once again, I'm drawing a vertical line like this. And then I need to leave room for his beak, so at the bottom border, I'm going to come up a distance that is about something like this, and I will draw a horizontal line. Now, by doing that, you can kind of see that I have this square developed like this. And we know a circle is going to fit within a square. So what I want to do is draw a circle that touches those four marks that I made. So I'm going to sketch like this, nice and light and loose. I'm going to go around several times. And I'm going to sketch in a circle that once again touches those four marks. If my circle is not quite the right size, I'm not going to erase. I'm just going to keep going around and around until it grows to become the right size. And I'm thinking something like that looks pretty good. Okay, nice circle, as you can see. All right, I want to do a center line to show me where the center of his face is. Now I'm going to come down to the bottom of my circle, and I'm going to put a mark right at the very bottom of my circle, right here, just nice and light like that. Now, I want this circle to curve like this because his head is going to be slanted, and I'm going to draw a curving line like this going across my circle from top to bottom like this here. Now, I'm taking a look at that. I like that pretty well. And once again, that'll show me where the center of his face is going to be. All right, next thing I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and draw in a shape for the top of his beak. So I'm going to travel up my circle to a spot that's about right here, and I'll put a little mark right there. Hopefully you can see that. It's nice and light, and that's just showing me where I want to start this top portion of his beak. Okay, so I'm going to start here. I'm going to curve up, and I'll stop when I hit that center line for a moment, like that. Okay, now once I hit my center line, I'm going to want to curve downward becoming closer to the bottom of my circle, about that close. Then I'm going to change direction. I'll have it curve up like that. Okay, now let me go over that just a little bit darker so you can see the top section of his beak. Just like that. Okay, now it's kind of a complicated line. Take your time when you do it. All right, now I'm going to draw the side and bottom. So from this point here, I'm going to continue up my circle to a spot that's about right here. And I'm going to draw a line slanting downward like this to a spot that's about right there. Okay. Now, before I finish off this beak, I'm going to draw a horizontal line looking at my bottom border, and I want the bottom of his beak at its closest point to touch that line right there. Okay, so I'm going to slant downward like this. And right before I hit that line, I'm going to stop about like that. And then I'll curve this down and I'll hit about right there. Okay, then I'll just bring this down also and connect. Okay, now let me go over that just a little bit darker so you can see that well. I don't want to press too hard, but I want you to see what I'm doing here. Okay, and that is the simplified shape we're going to use for his beak. All right, very good. Now I'm going to put in a couple other lines curving across his head. So from the top of his beak, I'm going to travel upwards to a spot that's about right here. I'm looking at that. Okay, that looks about right. I'll mark that right there. And also from where this beak touches my circle, I'm going to travel up to a spot that's about right there. Okay, that looks good. Now what I want to do is I want to draw a curving line between those two marks like this, and then it's going to curve up, out, and over to the end of his head about right there. Okay, now let me go over that just a little bit darker. Okay, good. Now I'm going to travel up. From here, I'm going to go up about that far. And about right there. I'm going to draw another line basically parallel to that slanted line that I already drew like this. And this will come up, over, curving, and touch the side of his head about right there. Okay, that looks pretty good. And we'll use those lines later in this drawing. Okay, next, I'm actually going to put on a simple shape for his hat. So I'm just going to continue this line downward, curving it downward like this. I'm going to be very close to my left border, and I'll just curve this and connect it like that. And that will be for the brim of his hat. Okay, a couple other details and we'll wrap this up. Now I'm going to draw right here, basically just a little lower than his beak line. I'm going to draw a little section of his cheek, just a curving line like that. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the shape of his eye. It's going to be quite close to the side of his head, starting about here. It's going to curve up, get a little further away from the side of his head, and then it's going to touch that line right there. Okay, that's the side of the eye. And then right here, I will draw and bring it up just like that. And that's going to give me the shape of eye number 1, just like that. Okay, good. Now, coming over here, I'm going to be looking at this top beak line, and I'm going to come down to a spot that's about right here. And I'm going to draw, this is another line for his second cheek, and it's going to come over like this and touch about like that. All right. Now the last thing I need to do is I need to draw his second eye. Now it's going to look a lot bigger than the first, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start it about right here. It's going to curve up. I'm going to get close to my center line, about that close. I'm going to curve it away, up, and stop like that when I'm hitting that curving line right there. Okay, very good. Now this eye is quite wide at the bottom, so I'm going to put that in right, the bottom of it's going to be about right here. And I want to make sure I don't draw it straight up and down. And I'm going to sketch like this. You can kind of see that motion right there. And we'll bring this up, over, and come to the top just like that. Okay, very good. And that is a simplified version of Dewey Duck's head. And now I'm ready to move on to the details. So, how did yours turn out? I'm sure that if you were patient and careful, your simplified version of Dewey Duck's head looks great. Remember, the hard thing for young artists to do is to figure out how to get started. But if you've worked with me, you've got that all figured out. Your drawing is accurate in terms of size and proportion, and now you're ready for the details. You can find the details on this reference sheet, which can be downloaded from a link in the description of the video. Or, if you're having a great time drawing with me, we can continue and we can draw the details right now together. Grab your pencil and eraser, take a deep breath, and let's continue with the details of Dewey Duck's head. Before I start the details of my Dewey Duck, I'm going to put on 2 more lines to help me draw this. So what I'm going to do is from here to here, I'm going to judge about halfway. From here to here, judge about right there. And I'm going to put in another curving line that curves across this space like this. Now that line is going to help me in a few minutes, and I want to put that in before I start my details. And I want to put in one more. In this space here on this line, I'm going to go up from here about 1/3 between here and here, and I'm going to put a mark about right here like this. Once again, curving across that space. And that's going to help me when I draw something else here in a few minutes. All right, I am ready for my details. To draw these details, I'm going to switch over to this regular yellow pencil, which will make it a little bit easier to see. And also, I'm going to leave all of my blue lines visible and unerased. Now, I'm going to jump into the hardest part of the drawing, and that's going to be his beak. So to start myself out, I'm going to go ahead and draw over this curving line. I don't need to change that at all. I'll just sketch over it like this. Once again, this simplified shape was really good, and I don't really need to change it. And I'll just stop when I get right down here to the edge of the head. Okay, nice and easy to start, just kind of drawing over that curving beak line. Okay, then what I want to do is I want to come right here and I want to go up the side of his head like this until I hit the top of my simple shape for my beak right there. Then I'm going to curve down and I'm going to come down and I'm going to stop about right there. Okay, see that little hook shape that I drew? And then at the bottom of that hook shape, I'm going to draw a very short slanted line like this. Now, I'm ready for the curving part of his beak. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at about right here. Now, look at this center line. I'm going to come to the left and up from the bottom, and I'm going to put a dot about right here. And hopefully you can see that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw over to the left. I'm going to hit the bottom of this line and put it right here in the corner of this simplified shape. So I'm going to go ahead and draw like this. I'm going to draw this nice and light at first. Hit the bottom of that, come right in here to the corner of the shape. Once I'm in the corner, I'm going to make a little bit of a curve. I'm going to wrap this around and then I'll stop right there for a moment. Just made this little hook shape. Now let me draw over that just a little bit darker so you can see that. Just like that, as you can see. All right, next thing I want to do, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to draw a smile line. A little wrinkle which I want to put about right here like this. Then in the middle of the smile line, I'm going to draw a slanted line like that. Okay, very good. Now stay with me here. Then I'm going to put a location in this beak about right here. And I'll put another little dot right there. Now what I want to do is I want to draw from here towards that dot. Okay, so I'm going to come down like this. I'm going to go below my simple shaped circle. I'm going to come over, curving. I'm still below my circle, as you can see. Curving up, I want to get a little bit closer to my circle right there and draw right towards that dot. Now I do that super light so you can just barely see it, so I'm going to go over that just a little bit more. Just like that, as you can see, and that gives me that section of his beak. All right, now this next step, a little bit challenging. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back here and I'm going to keep drawing downward at the same slant, at the same angle. And I'm going to draw down through the beak until I come close to my bottom of my simple shape for his beak, and then I'm going to start to curve it, and then I'll stop right there. Okay, now that looks a little bit funny. Don't let that bother you. I'm going to go back to the other side. I'm going to put a little bit of a curve in his beak like this, meaning I'm going to curve away from my simple shape line. Then I'm going to curve back and hit it once again like that. As you can see, I just want to have a little bit of a curve into the side of his beak like that. All right, then I'll just connect those together, just like that, just tracing over that simple shape line for his beak here at the bottom. All right, very good. Then I'm going to come right here and I'm just going to make a little connection right here. I'm going to bring this down so that beak kind of folds and touches right there, as you can see. Now, that looks a little strange to have that line cutting through his beak. So I'm going to take my eraser and I'm going to erase that just like that. Okay, very good. Now, all I'm going to do now is draw the inside of the beak. So I'm going to come on this line about right here. I'll put a little mark, and then over here, I'll put a little mark as well. And I just want to come down, kind of doubling this line, which means following it at the same angle like this. And then from this side like this. And I'll just come across the bottom, just like that. As you can see, nice and light at first. And there you go. All right, we're almost done. Now, inside of his beak, there's like a tongue or a tooth, and it's basically directly centered below. So if I come down like that, and if I put this little triangle right here like this, that'll give me his tongue or his tooth, and I've got the detail of the beak all done. The next thing I want to do is I want to work on the details of this eye. So I'm going to go ahead and finalize the side of his head, just tracing over my simple shape line like that. And then my simple shape for his eye looks really good. So I'm just going to draw over that and finalize it with this graphite pencil. Also, a little bit of this cheek right here, I'm drawing over that as well. All right, now I do need to add one little curving eyelash that kind of comes up just right here near the top, just like that, really, really short. I don't want that to be too long. And there it is. All right, now I need to draw his pupil, and that's going to hit the bottom of his eye about right here, and it's going to hit the top of his eye about right here. And then I'll just draw a curving line, nice and curving, just like that. And then just real quick, I'm just going to add some quick shading to it right there. Okay, now I want to add one more detail. I need to put in an eyebrow. So what I want to do for his eyebrow is I'm going to draw, and it's going to hit this line right here. So I'm going to start here, really close to his eye. I'm going to come up. I'm going to hit that line, that simple shape line. Then I'm going to curve it downward about that far and stop. And there I have the detail of eye number 1. Okay, now I'm ready for eye number 2. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to draw over this cheek line like this. Not the whole thing, I'll stop about right there, so it doesn't quite touch my beak on either side. All right, very good. Now, what I want to do on this, I need to do some things that are a little bit complicated. So what I want to do first is I want to cut across this eye line with a little bit of a curving line like this. Now it's going to cut across the top side of his eye like this, and it'll come out about right there. Okay, now that's kind of a complicated line, even though it's simple. We need to put that in the right place, just like that. Then I'll go ahead and finalize this side of his eye like this. Okay, great. The next thing I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and finalize this side of his eye as well. That simple shape was really good. I'm just drawing over that. Okay, and now, very critical, what I need to do is I need to come down here on the side of his eye to a spot that's about right here, and I'll just put a little mark across that line, very, very short. And then from here, I'm going to come down to a spot that's about right here, and I'll put another mark. Now, what I want to do is connect those lightly with a nice curving line that's not straight, like this. And this is kind of like for his eyelid. Let's draw over that, just like that. Okay, his pupil. Now, I want that pupil to touch about right here, about halfway between here and here. And so I'll put that right there. And then I just want it to be a nice curve, curving up, curving over, and touching that eyelid right there, as you can see. Okay, and once again, I'm just going to do that really quick shading with these slanted lines. I can be more careful later, but for right now, that's going to be good enough. Okay, now I have to do another complicated detail. Now, what I want to do is I want to look at the end of this line. I'm going to go up and to the left just a little bit, and I'm going to put a dot right there. Okay, see that dot? Okay, then I'm going to take a look at this line here. I'm going to go up and to the right. I might make a little sketch, and I'll put a dot about right there. Okay, then I'm going to erase that line just like that. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to go up from this dot. I want to hit that line and come down and connect to that dot. See how I kind of did the motion like that? Okay, so here I go. I'm going to sketch really lightly, come up, hit my line. Once I hit my line, I'm going to come downward, nice and smooth. I'm drawing right toward that mark right there. So here I go, just like that, and hit my mark. And that gives me this eyebrow. All right, very good. Now I'm ready for his hat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start right here with these two lines across each other right there. I'll put a little dot there so you can see where I'm going to start. And I'm just going to come downward with a curving line like this. And I want to draw and then run into my simple shape line just like this right there. Draw over it, curve it around, and touch the side of his head. Okay, I'll draw over that just a little bit more, just like that. Okay, then I want to draw over this line, but I'm going to cut away from it. Watch me do this. I'm going to follow the line downward. Once I get about right here, I'm going to start to cut away from it. I'm going to cut in just like that. And that gives me a hat section. Okay, all I need to do is trace over this line. This will give me the bottom of his hat. I'll trace over that and I'll stop right there. This line gives me the center of his hat. I'll trace over it. And then, of course, this nice curving line will give me the top of his hat. So I'll just trace over that like this. It's always nice when your simple shape is accurate. It makes it kind of easy to do these details. And that will give me the top of his hat. Now, if you have a baseball hat, you might remember that at the top of the hat, there's a little button. And we want to add this little button right here. It's just going to be like a half circle, not too big. And I'll just draw this little button like that. Okay, now there's just a couple details. We're almost done. So what I want to do here is come over here to the end of the hat. I'm going to draw a feather that's kind of sticking up. It's kind of like a curving triangle. So it's going to go up a little bit. Oh, maybe about that far. I'll curve it back. Stop before you hit your circle, about right there. That looks good. Okay. Then from here, I'm going to curve downward with a curving line like this. And I'll come up and hit the side of his head right like that, giving me these feathers. Okay. And then I just want to trace over the side of his head, coming up like this, and I'll hit that second feather right there. Okay, one more thing. Now right here, there's a wrinkle above his beak, and I'm going to draw that like this, coming over just like that. And there you go. And there you have it. The details of Dewey Duck's head. So, how much fun was that? Thanks for stopping by my channel and for spending some time drawing with me. I hope you had as much fun as I did. Have a great day, and don't forget to keep on drawing.